Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the number one podcast, All Sports, Not Move podcast. Y'all know I'm Zip Zap, all bass, no treble, and I am here with the man himself, Mr. Fisticuffs, Coach Common. What's up, my dude?
What's going on, my baby? How you doing tonight?
Man, everything is good. So here we are, Combat Nation, and let's get right into it.
You
Common,
ready?
Common. There's a man out there who fights at the 148 weight class, potentially 154, a weight class that is being left by Bud Crawford, that is potentially a mega superstar, a really bad man with a lot of flash, a lot of style, and a big punch. His name is Jaron Boots Ennis. My question to you is this: is this his time to shine right now?
Well, he's about to take it over, especially since Bud is moving up. Especially since Bud is moving up. But what I do see is, because I like Bud for his next fight with Canelo. You feel me? I'm a Bud fan. I'm a ride with Bud. I had Bud against Spence. You know what I mean? And I like Bud. I like his style. You know what I mean? I like the way he everything about him as far as the fight. So um, right now would be his time to shine because Bud's moving up. But see, what I do see happen if Bud is not successful against Canelo, I do see Bud coming back down and then Booth being his next fight.
I mean, as long as Boots seems to take care of business, realistically, there are a lot of good fighters around that 140 to 148 weight class. He could be the most dominant guy there, don't you think?
Oh no, most definitely, most definitely. Right now, without a question. The only thing standing in his way is Bud. That's the only person standing in his way is Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford stands between him and supremacy in the welterweight division. Yes, that is a fact. Because listen, who else is it? Who else is there
It's interesting.
that can beat him? Right? I know there's
It's
other fighters out there, but who can beat him?
what do you think about the chances of a guy like a Devin Haney, or maybe
Man, listen, Devin Haney shouldn't be allowed to box no more, man. You went to the police after you got your behind whooped in a boxing match. Nobody trying to hear nothing about no Devin Haney. Devin Haney
what about a guy?
he disgraced boxing when he did that.
Well, get into it. What is it that Devin Haney did that got you like this? What did he do?
He went and pressed charges on a boxer after the boxer beat him up in the ring.
Are you talking
Something
about
about
Ryan Garcia?
something about the gloves being overweight or some technicality or something. And he went and tried to press charges on a boxer after you got beat up in the ring. Now he didn't
So,
beat you up. No, it didn't happen outside the ring. He tried to press charges on a fighter who beat him up
what
in the
happened in
ring.
the ring?
Hey man,
All right,
come
so
on,
common
man.
outside of Devin Haney, there still is Ryan Garcia. Shouldn't he be considered legit, or maybe even a slick boxer, somebody who moves up like a Shakur, who's only a few
Yeah,
pounds
but
away from that division?
but nobody wants no. See, I ain't gonna hold you. Shakur Booth will beat the brakes off of Shakur. He'll beat the brakes off of Shakur. Shakur's whole thing is to make you chase him and use his speed. Boots is fast, no? Boots can move. Boots will beat the brakes off of Shakur. Because Boots
You
can
don't think
manhandle him.
Shakur
Boots can
you
get
don't
out
think
Boots.
Shakur has the you don't think Shakur has the killer instinct in him enough to
Nah,
deal with somebody like Boots?
no. He'll do his same routine. He'll do his same routine. Look, I saw Shakur's last fight, and it was horrible.
Oh, all right. I'm glad you brought this up.
Horrible.
I've got to
Man,
ask you something.
look at me. Look at me. Horrible.
I've got to ask you something, Coach.
It
I've
was
got
so
to ask you something.
boring. It was
Are
so
we being
boring.
too are we being too rough on somebody who is such a technical boxer that he's winning by his boxing superiority?
No, listen,
Are we
I'm
being
not
too hard on
taking
him?
no, I'm not taking nothing away from his boxing skills. He's just boring as hell. Nobody wants to see you fight. You boring.
Would you be interested? Would you be interested if you can get him and Boots in the ring right now? Would that
Oh
interest you?
yeah, that would interest me because here's the thing, because I'm watching the fight to watch Boots, not Shakur.
Good point.
Like I'm being honest. I'm watching the fight to watch Boots, not Shakur. Shakur is boring, dog. Don't get
Do
me
you think
wrong. He's
Shakur
technically savvy. I like the way he moves. He's
is?
technically sound. You know what I mean? Like he, you know what I mean. He don't allow you to cut off the ring on him. You know what I mean. He's a point guy. He gets in, but gets out. You know what I mean. Counters you. I like all that. I do. But you do it very boring.
But could he succeed with a style like that against somebody like Boots? Could he dance his way to victory?
Nah,
Because
nah.
the only way you're going to beat Boots, the only way he's going to beat Boots is by having a boring fight, by
Nah.
keeping Boots out of range.
But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Boots, you see, Boots can match him with speed and footwork. All that running is not going. I don't think it's going to be in the cards for him. I don't think he's going to be doing a whole lot of running. Well, I'm sorry. He might do a whole lot of running. However, he will get caught.
Fair enough. And this would be the perfect time to bring up somebody we talked about briefly. A man by the name of Bud Crawford, who is moving up essentially 20 pounds. He's going through 3 weight classes to go and fight the money man in boxing, Saul Canelo Alvarez. I have got to ask you, what are your thoughts as we approach this mega fight?
Yo, like I said, I got Boots, right? I mean, I'm sorry, I got Bud. I got Bud, right? I got Bud all day, twice on Sunday. However,
I need you to I
his
need you to
style,
tell me, Common, I
go
need
ahead.
you to tell me somebody who's indecisive as far as who's going to win this. I need you to tell me what Bud needs to do to get this victory over a bigger, stronger, experienced Canelo.
He needs to fight Canelo the same way he fought Earl Spence. He needs to attack him. He needs to attack him. See, Canelo's used to being the predator. You got to turn him into the prey. You turn Canelo into the prey. Throw off his game. Get him frustrated. Make him exert himself. Make him throw punches that he really shouldn't be throwing. Make him throw more punches than what he really should be throwing. But see, like I
But
said, the
wouldn't
one
that
thing that makes me nervous, the one thing that makes me nervous is that Bud, one style that Bud has is Bud likes to take a punch to give 2 punches. I don't know
he
how
does?
many I don't know how many punches from Canelo he's gonna take to deliver those two. That's the only thing that has me nervous. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm looking back on Bud's resume. I don't see anybody that's anywhere near Canelo Alvarez as far as punching power. You see what I'm saying? And if you watch all of Bud Crawford's fights, you can clearly see he gets hit flushly. He will take a flush shot. But my question is, and what makes me nervous is, how many flush shots from Canelo can you take? That's the only thing that makes
Common,
me nervous.
one of Canelo's most underrated punches is his, or what he's not given enough credit for is the fact that he's willing to work an opponent's body. Quite often early in the fight, he will attack the body. Now, against a smaller guy like Bud, this could pay dividends as the fight goes longer. You're telling Bud that he has to get into the line of fire against somebody like Canelo. If he starts eating body shots, that won't hold well for him the longer the fight goes, you would think, right?
No, that's a fact. No, that's a fact. I think. See, I'm gonna be honest with you. Because he's going up in weight class, regardless. Because he's going up in weight class, and it's going to be at a weight that I don't, that he's never, like he's really never fought before. Canelo's fought at 168 before. Canelo's fought at 175. So Canelo has fought at a heavier weight. So the longer the fight goes, the more advantage it is for Canelo anyway. That's why I said you have to attack him, not be nice. You feel me? You can't be nice about it. You have to attack him. Now I'm not saying stand there and trade punches with him. By no means. I would never suggest anybody do that with Canelo. However, what I do, no doubt. So however, how I do, however, when I say attack him, I mean take the fight to him. Make him fight your fight. Don't give him a chance for him to put his game plan, his fight plan, even in the play. Don't even give him a chance.
Coach,
Attack him.
coach,
Attack him
I gotta tell you,
immediately.
coach, I gotta tell you, that sounds real good, but it sounds like you're putting a lot of energy into having Crawford constantly trying to press the action. I don't know if that's necessarily the smartest thing to do. That sounds like a way to wear yourself out too, by trying to force the action too much.
Well, he's going to have to face himself. I mean, he's going to know his limits. You know what I'm saying? He's going to know he knows his body. But in my opinion, what I do feel as though that he needs to take the fight to Canelo. Don't let Canelo bring the fight to him, because if Canelo brings the fight to him, now you're fighting Canelo's fight, and the later that fight goes, I think it goes into Canelo's favor because of the weight difference. You gotta remember, he's getting hit by a heavier, more powerful boxer. He's carrying
Can you?
more. He's carrying more weight. He's throwing punches with more weight.
Yes.
He's dancing around the ring with more weight. So the further that fight goes, the more, like I said, the more advantage it goes to Canelo. So you have to fight. You have to go in there and fight your fight, and you have to fight your fight and put your game plan and your fight plan into action immediately. You cannot wait. Because I feel as though you need to get rid of Canelo early and don't even leave it to the judges. You have to get rid of him early. If your game plan is to try to ride it out and let it go 12, it's the wrong game plan. I think you should pace yourself, but push the issue at the same time.
Does for Canelo to win, does he have to do the opposite and draw the fight out?
Yeah, I think
In
Canelo
your
needs to
opinion,
draw. I think Canelo needs to draw the fight out. Because I think if it's a fast paced joint, that's playing into Bud's hand. That's playing into Bud's hand early. That's playing into
so
Bud's hand early. So
it sounds
now,
like
go ahead.
it sounds like you think Canelo's best chance to win is to kind of make it an ugly fight, maybe even a boring fight early, where he's kind of just asserting his bigness in the ring, if you will. Make
Yeah,
Bud try to carry his weight.
listen. If I was Canelo, like you said, I go to the body, work the body, see what that's doing. If I'm Canelo, I'm leaning on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting my weight on it. He's not used to fighting at this weight. I am. I am. I'm putting as much weight on him as possible, and I'm gonna, and, you know, and I'm gonna, protect myself. But I guess not a rope a dope, but I'm gonna try to make him exert himself. If I'm Canelo, I'm gonna try to make him overexert himself. He's not used to fighting at this weight. But I'm gonna
So I'm
do
going
it
to
so
give you.
that I'm gonna do it so that it draws out, until I feel that until I feel and see that snapping his punches start to fade away. Now I'm gonna turn. Now I'm attack. Now I'm going to attack. This is if I'm Canelo. Now I'm going to attack. Now I got you. Now I got you in the depth. I got you in the part of the ocean where I want you.
it sounds a lot to me like this has to either be a really boring fight early on for Canelo to assert himself late, or Bud has to start off hot and make Canelo fight from behind.
That's what.
In
That's
order
see,
for, and those are the two options for either way to get the clearest path to victory.
I think that is the clear path to victory. I think other than a knockout, there's going to have to be more than 6 rounds of domination from one of the fighters. Now,
Before we move on, Coach,
who will dominate
Coach,
that?
before Coach,
That's
before we move on, neither one of these guys has actually been stopped in their careers. Is there a chance that this is the first time it happens to one of them?
then a very good chance because both of them have the punches to put either one of them down. Both of them have the punches to put the other one down. Both of them have the punches to put the other down. That is a fact. Bud can put down Canelo. Canelo can probably put down Bud.
Now, clearly, this is about a fight of a bigger man versus a man moving up versus a much bigger man. But this has nothing on the next fight we're going to talk about, where we have somebody who's borderline 200 pounds going up against a typical 135 pounder. And I shouldn't say typical, but he fights at the 135 pound range. And we're talking Jake Paul against Tank Davis. Common, you have to tell me, what are we looking at in this exhibition? What is it what's going on here? What is going on? Because it was supposed to be Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. That clearly didn't happen. It ended up being Tank Davis. There's a huge discrepancy in size between Anthony Joshua and Tank Davis. What is going on here?
So, this is the closest thing to me I can find. Is my granddaughters. It's the closest thing I can find. It's about the bag.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
It's about the bag.
About the bag.
It's about the bag. Clearly, point blank, is about the bag.
But why not Anthony Joshua? Why not Anthony Joshua? And I say that because Jake Paul is fighting a considerably smaller guy. Considerably.
Because this is what YouTubers do. He's a YouTuber. He's not a boxer, man. He's a YouTuber. He's an entertainer. Listen, he might as well be in the ring with his brother in the WWE. He's sports entertainment. That is who he is. Check this out.
But he's good for the sport, isn't he?
No. Now hold on. Does he bring somebody as, do you think Jake Paul is a real boxer? No, I do not. No, I do not. Absolutely not. No, he is not a real. He is a YouTuber. He is a sports entertainment. Does he bring, listen, you guys be good for the sport. Does he bring new eyes to the sport because of his father? Yes. That's what an entertainer does. Does he put butts in the seats at his fights? Yes. That's what an entertainer does. Does he introduce you to new talent? Does he introduce you to new talent? Right? To new up and coming talent. Does he introduce you to new up and coming? I'm trying to understand. The A-Train will come, man.
Team Jake Paul, baby.
A-Train?
Team
So
Jake
listen,
Paul.
Right? So listen, right? So listen, right? Does he, so check it out, Zip. Does he introduce new talent and introduce us to new talent in the sport of boxing? Like Amanda Serrano and the other girl. Yes, he does. But that's what an entertainer does. He's an entertainer. Now, I'm going to read off his fights. And these are the fights. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
These
Okay.
are the
Please do.
fights.
Okay.
These are the fights, Zip. Okay, Zip. These are the fights that the WBC felt they could rank him off of. These are the fights. Now hear me out now. Fight number one. Some guy named DG. Some YouTuber, some little brother, some British YouTuber rapper over in Britain. He fought his little brother. That was his first fight. YouTuber. Second fight, some British YouTuber, Annie ECGB, whatever, I can't even pronounce his name. It's ANESONGIV, right? YouTuber from Britain. Another YouTuber, right? Okay. Third fight, Nate Robinson, ex-basketball player. Now, we're going to go to his fourth fight, Ben Askren, right? Ben Askren, Olympic mixed martial arts.
By the way, who came into that fight well out of shape.
Yes, yes. Thank you for pointing that out. His next fight, Tyrone Woodley. Tyron Woodley, UFC MMA fighter. Okay, fought him twice. All right, first round, first fight, he won a decision. Second fight, he knocked Woodley out. Right. Next fight, 47-year-old Anderson Silva. Mind you, Jacob's 25.
Okay.
Okay. Next fight, Tommy Fury, little brother of Tyson Fury. Lost. Real boxer.
It needs to be pointed out. It needs to be pointed out that
No.
Tommy Fury is a legit fighter. It is. We have.
He's legit
It's a
fighter.
legit boxer.
Lost. Split decision, 2 rounds, around 2 judges to 1. Okay. His next fight after Tommy was Nate Diaz, UFC MMA fighter. His fight after that, now I will give him credit for this fight. This fight was against Andre August, who was a boxer, who was actually a boxer, and he KO'd him. So I will give him credit for that one fight. Right? Listen, I'm not going to give him credit, but I'll at least say the guy as a fighter was Ryan Bulliard. He was a Golden Glove fighter. TKO'd him. He's a real legitimate fighter. I'll give him that. Okay? After that, he goes to Mike Perry, MMA fighter. After Mike Perry, he goes to 62-year-old Mike Tyson.
All right, we need to put an asterisk next to this one. We need to put a huge asterisk
next to the Mike. Yes. 62. Okay, and then the last but not least, 39-year-old Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. These are the fights that the WBC deemed okay because his record is 12-1. That is his record. 12 wins, 1 loss, which means all those YouTubers that he fought early all counted. Well, they consider them fights. They got them on his record because these are all his fights. And this is what the WBC considered ranking him off of. That resume. That's the resume WBC saw fit to rank him off of. Please tell me.
But Common, I've got to ask you something. I've got to ask you this. I hear what you're saying.
Is he a fighter?
He is a fighter. He is a fighter. However, let me qualify this. What he is not is a ranked fighter. But he is a fighter. He's an exhibition fighter. And I will always defend this one stance. When you step in between the ropes or whether you step in a cage, you do not play fight. You do not play box. You do not play fight. You are in there to take somebody's head off. They're out to take yours off, unless you have a condition in the contract that says somebody doesn't get paid unless they make a certain amount of.
Yeah, but don't go around calling yourself, talking about you're going to be a world boxing champion.
He might be Common.
Who have you thought to deserve that shot? Who have you
Common, I'm glad you brought that up.
No, hold on. I looked it up. How many cruiserweights and light heavyweights there are sanctioned right now amongst all the belts? You know how many they said there was?
How many?
Too many to fucking count.
I
Why
believe.
didn't you go fight one of them? Why didn't you go fight one of them? They said it was too many to keep track of. Zip.
Common.
Too many to keep track of. But yet, man, it's about the bag. He's an entertainer. You can't rebuke that. It's about the bag. He's an entertainer. They said there's so many cruiserweights. There's so many cruiserweights and light heavyweights they can't keep track of like that. You can't look up and find a number. That's how many there are. But you want to fight 133-pound Tank Davis, and then with a straight face, call yourself a boxer and say you want to be champion? Nah, dog, never in my book. Never in my book. Ever.
If he continues to win, he will end up in either a number one contenders fight or he will fight for a title strictly based on what he brings to boxing. Boxing has not always been a fair sport. You know this is true.
He can
what I'm saying is
right now.
What I'm saying, Common, and I think you'll agree with me, is boxing has not always been a sport about who's the best gets the title shot. It has not always been that way.
No. It hasn't. A lot of people didn't deserve title shots, got title shots.
So based on the premise of what he could bring value to, which is an actual title belt, he may end up with a title shot. I believe he will.
They all went through the gauntlet. They all went through the gauntlet. They had amateur fights. These guys that you're talking about that got title shots that might not deserve it, they had amateur fights. They started training at a young age. They worked themselves up. They worked themselves up. Okay? A lot of them went Golden Gloves. A couple of them went to Olympic trials. They worked themselves up. They followed the process. They didn't come in with 1 million YouTube viewers and then challenge another YouTuber. Challenge another YouTuber to a fight, beat up a YouTuber, and then all of a sudden say, "Hey, I'm in Kentucky for the heavyweight boxing champion world." Man, get out of here with that, man.
Common, let's be.
We should be in the boxing ring. That's period.
We should be very clear. We should be very clear about a couple of things. We should be clear about a couple of things.
He's WWF. He's WWF. Yeah, you see, he's WWF, A-Train.
No, his older brother already did that. His older brother
He will. Let's be very clear about something with Jake Paul. Jake Paul is not going to fight. Jake Paul is not going to fight. Jake Paul is not going to fight for the heavyweight title. That's not going to happen. Jake Paul might fight for a cruiserweight title or a light heavyweight title, or I would dare say, if Canelo should beat Bud Crawford and Jake Paul looked good in his victory over Tank, I would not be surprised if we are looking at $100 million fight between Canelo and Jake Paul. I would not in the least be surprised.
Everybody's going to watch.
You know what the next fight's going to be again?
And that right there is the whole premise of boxing. The point of boxing is not always to see two guys fight. It's not just to see the two best guys who would fight. It would be to see how many people you can bring to the arena, the stadium, to put eyes on the product, to watch the guys fight. The name has everything to do with it. And Jake Paul
Okay,
carries a
that's
name.
cool. That's cool. And you know who his next fight should be? You know what his next fight should be?
Who's
Martin
that?
Raw Dog Page. Martin Raw Dog Page. The CBC champ. Raw
Stop
Dog
it.
has spoken.
Stop it.
That's who his next fight should be.
Nah,
Martin
he's
Raw
gonna go.
Dog Page, dog.
Dude, you look at this guy's resume. Guess what? He lost to Tommy Fury, but guess what? He got Tank Davis. That says something. He's gonna
Hold on.
sell out Netflix. He's gonna sell out
We
Netflix.
need to we need to talk about the other side of the card. We've talked a lot about Jake Paul. We now need to talk about Tank Davis. Tank Davis is 135. He's a 135-pound wrecking machine. But 135 pounds versus a near 200-pounder. What does Tank? I don't doubt that Tank is going to be able to get off his shots here and there, but he's going up against somebody where Tank could be in legit danger of getting caught.
Yo, you see this? You see my granddaughter's
Yes.
book bag?
Oh, I see it.
This is my Tank fight.
Common.
Tank get in
Common.
the bag. Tank get in the bag and he leaves.
Let me ask you this.
It's about, everything that Tank is doing this for relies within this bag.
It's right there.
Nothing else but the bag. There is nothing else. Nothing else.
Now,
Absolutely
Common.
nothing else.
The best thing that could happen. The best thing that can happen to Tank is if he somehow goes through this fight, he outpoints Jake Paul, and he actually gets the win. That is the best case scenario.
No. Here's the thing. No, it isn't. Tank is in a win-win. Tank's in a win-win. That's why it's only about this. Tank's in a win-win. If Tank loses, he weighs 60 pounds more than you. You weren't supposed to beat him. If he wins, you knock that big motherfucker out. There is never a little dude. Listen, I'm 6'4", 280 pounds. I've always been a big guy. When I fought a little guy, he never had nothing to lose. Never. He was always given a pass because he was always given a pass because of how big I was. But if I lost to him, oh my word, you let that little motherfucker beat your ass.
Now, okay, let me ask you this.
He can't lose. Tank can't lose in this situation. That's why
I'm not so Common. I'm not so sure. Let's say he goes out and gets knocked out in the second or third round. I think his reputation would take a massive hit.
Why? You fought a dude that fight. You fought a dude that's 196 pounds. You're 135.
I agree on the size, but you know how boxing perception is. Even with the size difference, you step in that ring. The perception would be is, hey, last time we saw you, you were on your back or you were face down and it was quick. I think if he gets knocked down and it happens later in the fight, people will say, man, he went and he fought him, respect. But I think if it happens quick, public opinion is going to be, damn, what did we just see?
I don't think he lose. Tank Davis don't lose in this fight. I don't care how you slice it. He doesn't lose.
Well, Common, tell me this then.
He's fighting
as you
and he's getting the bag. Listen.
Then
there is no lose in this situation for Tank. There is no lose. There is no lose because no matter how his PR people can spin it any which way you want it. If he gets knocked out, well, we didn't know, you know what I mean? Tank went there and fought him, knowing that he is, they're going to start getting to the PSI of power per square inch of each punch. They're going to get into it all. There is no lose for Tank.
Well, I need you to tell me something. Common, I need you to tell me something. I need you to tell me how Tank wins this fight. Tell me why Tank wins this fight. Pardon me, exhibition. Tell me how he wins.
Tank wins the fight. Tank wins the fight by staying inside of him, taking his power away from him. You know he's bigger, you know he's longer, you know he's stronger. You stay inside of him, keep your face in his chest. There's no power on his punches.
If
That's how you
Tank
do it.
wins, if Tank wins, this will be one of the more inspirational boxing moments we have seen in the past few decades. But
Oh,
now I
listen,
need you to tell me,
I'll make a video dancing, celebrating him beating.
Common, stop.
Common, now that you told me how he wins, I need you to tell me, how does Jake Paul go ahead and approach fighting who is a world class strategic dynamo of I don't even know how to describe Tank Davis. He's like a bowling ball who just keeps coming at you.
Very,
How does
very,
Jake Paul deal with something like this?
very carefully and keep him on the end of his jab. If you let Tank inside, he's gonna beat the brakes off him. He has to keep Tank on the outside of his jab where his power is. He's got to keep him on the outside. If you let Tank inside, he's finished. There is no other coin. There's no flip side.
Do you have thoughts on who wins at this moment? We're still a while away from it, but do you have are you leaning either way right now?
Now, I don't know who's gonna win. I know I want Tank to knock him the hell out. I want Tank to knock him out. I want Tank to
But
finally put an end to all this problem
oh,
child rigmarole.
when we can't go, but get rid of the want. Who do you believe will? Get rid of the want. Who do you think will?
I believe who I think will, or I think Jake Paul will, because it's scripted like that. Because I told you it's sports entertainment.
That is fair. Now,
Commentated,
talking of
commentated.
entertainment,
I want to
talking
apologize for
of
showing up late, guys.
no worries, we're about to wind it down right now. And I like to wind it down with a segment that I call Ring the Damn Bell. Common, you know what this is. I'm going to present a scenario, and I need you to tell me how this goes down. In the corner to our left, I present to you at middleweight the most athletic, agile fighter we have seen in potentially the history of boxing. This man did things that you were taught not to do from day one. He could get away with in the ring because of his freakish speed and unusual power to go along with it. We've never seen anyone move this way before or since. I give you the bad man, Roy Jones Jr.
No, that was tough.
And I'm not talking any Roy Jones. Now, I am not talking any Roy Jones here.
Now you talking James?
I'm
I'm
talking middleweight prime Roy Jones, who said he only fought mad one time, and that was after he lost to Montel Griffin, who was on his knee from taking a shot, and Roy did a follow up, and he hit him while Griffin was on his knee, and he leaned over, didn't want to get up.
Yeah.
So Roy said during that next fight, it's the only time he ever fought mad, and he beat the brakes off of Griffin quickly. We are talking Roy Jones. To fight Roy Jones in his prime, it was going to take us. It was straight warfare. War was the battle cry of his opponent. A man who ruled the middleweight division for years. He was denied being given his shot for a long time. And when he finally got it, he won the damn belt, and they didn't even give him the belt in the ring. They sent it to him in the mail. And the guy who fought pissed off ever since to become one of the greatest fighters we ever saw. I am talking about Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Common, ring the damn bell. Who wins? Take me to those first 4 rounds.
Yo, first 4 rounds. First 4 rounds, Hagler's gonna come out. Hagler's gonna come out swinging. He's gonna try to put the pressure on. You know how Hagler attacks. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have that crossover. He's gonna have that crossover defense like he's that peekaboo crossover defense. Try to counter off of it how he used to. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna try to put his weight on you, try to lean on you, try to get you to the finish shot. Roy, on the other hand, is gonna be dancing. Roy's gonna be dancing, using his speed. You know what I mean? Trying to snap that jab in his face, trying to close his eyes up. First 4 rounds, first 4 rounds, I see. First 4 rounds, I see going to Roy. First 4 rounds, I see going to Roy. But see now, when we get into the later 4 rounds, we get into the later.
Give me rounds 4 through 8 or 5 through 8.
Listen, now we get to the next 4 rounds. The next 4 rounds, Roy's starting to see that this ain't the average dude. You feel me? That this ain't your average fighter. And Hagler wins the next 4 rounds off of persistence, body punching, and hovering over, keeping him close, cutting the ring off, not letting Roy Hagler can cut the ring off. Hagler cut it off. Like you ain't going nowhere. You gonna stay right here. Hagler was a cut off specialist. He cut that ring off, and he cut it off. And I think Hagler cuts it off in the next 4. I think Hagler gets acclimated to the speed. He already knows he can take his punch, and he cuts off the next 4. Now we get into the last 4, which we call the championship.
We're going to where they made it to round 9. Okay.
Yeah, they made it to round 9. We're going to the championship round. We're going to get to the championship round.
Somebody has to take control of this fight.
I'm about to tell you. Roy has taken Marvin's best punch. Roy's taking Marvin's best punch. However, the speed and the abundance of body punches that have accumulated on Marvin now are slowing him down. He's starting to take too much punishment. The speed is starting to overwhelm him. TKO should stop it in the 10th.
He's getting stopped?
Stop it in the 10th. By the referee gonna stop it because once you start getting enough punishment, Judge Real Lane, he ain't gonna let it go, but not for too much longer.
Who's getting stopped?
Yeah, it's gonna get stopped. I think it'll get stopped. I think Roy Jones stops Marvin Hagler between the 9th and the 12th round. I think Roy Jones stops.
Common, ring the damn bell. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think at the end, the abundance of punches, they wear Marvin down, and I think he starts to slow down enough to where though he's absorbing too much punishment because of the speed, and with that speed comes power. So those punches, they're not taxed. They're some of those thundering blows, and I think the ref feels as though Marvin Hagler taking too much punishment, and he's going and the reason I say that is because of this. Remember the flurries that Sugar Ray was able to get off real quick and get out off on Marvin? And Sugar
I do.
Sugar at that time was nowhere near as fast as fucking Roy Jones. So
to be fair, that was also an older Hagler, and we're looking at a prime Hagler for this fight.
Was it true? But if you remember Hagler Hearns, and Hagler Hearns caught him with flurries.
He
Hearns
did.
caught him with flurries.
He
Okay?
did.
Okay, so now we're talking about a Roy catching him with flurries.
But
When
remember what
they
happened.
got to him later on, no.
Remember,
Hagler put him away
remember what
early.
happened. Remember what
Hagler put him
happened
away
when
early.
Hearns stood in front of Hagler for 1 second too much. All it took was 1
Exactly.
second for
Exactly.
Hagler to
Now,
say,
Got knocked
"Okay."
across the ring.
exactly. Now, listen. Now you remember. Early, prime, Roy. Who did he ever stand in front of?
Fair point.
He was never there. He was
It
never
wasn't until
around.
it wasn't until he got older and slower. It wasn't
And
until
then
he
he
got
was,
older and slower.
yeah. James Tony couldn't find him. James Tony couldn't find him. Y'all in the same ring, and James Tony couldn't find him. James Tony literally felt what Muhammad Ali said. I'm gonna hit you so many times, you gonna think you surrounded. James Tony started looking around for other people. He thought he was getting jumped.
Common,
You
you
remember
said
that?
he's
You remember
stopping.
that James
You
Tony?
said he's stopping a prime Hagler. Stopping him.
Yeah,
TKO.
you gonna start with
It's a
TKO,
great.
and I'm going off of Hearns being able to have success with those flurries. Hagler,
I will.
Hearns, he's nothing like he was nothing like a Roy Jones. He was
I
nothing
will.
like
You
a
know
Roy
what? I
Jones.
will give you that. Hearns. People don't know this, or people may not remember, but the referee had to check on Hagler because of the cut that was on him. It was a very bad cut. It was a very bad cut. The fight
And it
almost got
wasn't from
stopped.
a headbutt. And it wasn't from a headbutt.
Nah,
And it wasn't from a
just clean
headbutt.
punch, and they went
Yeah.
straight. They went straight
That's
to
what I'm
war.
trying, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Hagler caught him with flurries. Now imagine a Roy Jones.
I just wonder if Roy hadn't never seen anything like a Hagler at that point. He's fought a
Nah, he
tough
wasn't.
Bernard Hopkins. He had fought a tough Bernard Hopkins, but Bernard Hopkins wasn't an animal the way Marvin
Yeah.
Hagler was.
But he
Marvin
wasn't a
Hagler was a
Bernard,
different kind of
but you
beast.
notice. But here's the thing though. But you also notice he wouldn't give Bernard that rematch.
Now, Bernard, he became a different Bernard. But before and after that
Yeah,
fight, we saw
yeah,
two
yeah,
different Bernard Hopkins.
yeah. He was. You see, he never gave
Yeah.
Bernard that rematch.
You know what? When they finally fought the second time, they were both well past their primes. They weren't even in middleweight. They were like a light heavyweight or something like that. But yeah, it
Yeah, it
was
wasn't
he.
even.
He didn't want to fight him. He didn't want to fight
Yeah,
him again.
nah. We wanted to fight him when he was an alien. I wanted you to fight him when
He
he
had to
was
wait till he
Bernard
became an
Hopkins.
alien.
When he was the executioner. Nah, when he was the executioner. No, he waited when he was an alien. You didn't fight him when he was
No,
the
he fought.
executioner.
Yo, that's
The
funny.
rematch, he was
It's
an
true.
alien. The rematch, he was an
Yeah,
alien.
yeah, yeah.
You didn't
He
want
didn't
the
want to part it.
rematch.
He didn't want that.
You didn't
They
want
would.
the
He was
rematch
the
when he was the
executioner the
executioner.
first time.
Nah, he
Yeah.
ain't want that rematch as executioner. Nah, he wanted when he came out there with the executioner helmet on, mask on. Nah, you ain't want that Bernard. He ain't want no parts of that Bernard, and he knew it. That's why he went up in weight class, so he couldn't say that in the rematch.
I've got to ask this because I got to admit I didn't see this being the result you would have went with. I didn't see this. I would have been
Oh
fine with
no,
you saying. I would have been fine with you saying Roy Jones outpoints him in the end. I would have got that. If you would have told me that Hagler stopped him by testing his chin or just outmuscled him and wore him down, I can see that. I did not see him being stopped. So now
yeah.
I have got to ask this questions about Roy Jones. Roy Jones, the first time we ever really saw him take shots to the chin, he did not react well.
He
No, he
went.
wouldn't have
He
Now,
said.
went night night.
granted, in his prime, they couldn't touch him. But he's
And
never
that
fought
and that's
somebody that.
why no, but that's why I gave Wood the edge. Because we said
But
prime. In his
I was
prime,
gonna say, but at this,
I don't think Hagler would have got a clean shot off on him to put him to sleep in his prime.
okay, okay,
That's why
fair
I
enough.
don't think I think he was quick enough not to get a clean shot off. He wouldn't have got, Hagler wouldn't have got a clean. You got to remember, Hearns was fast, but he was in long, but not as fast and long as Roy.
But he was a better power puncher than Roy.
You got better power
One
puncher,
thing
but
about
see, right, but one
people don't realize Hearns was a big guy. Hearns was a very big guy.
No, and he had a long arm. If he snapped that out on him, yeah. But now listen, here's the thing. This pop, and then all these shits coming. Pop from her, all these shits from Roy. You see the difference?
You know what?
The one, no. You got the one from her.
Got the one from her.
Right? That's from her. But these are consistently coming from Roy.
You know what? It's hard to say. It's hard to debate that because that's what Roy did. And Roy had unusual power. Roy had unusual power that he was a lot more heavy-handed than people realized he was.
And they came like this.
I just wonder. I've seen Marvelous Marvin Hagler get into that ring against animals like John the Beast Mugabe, who was a wrecking machine. John the Beast Mugabe was like I don't remember his record, but it was something crazy like 30 wins with 29 knockouts. It was something absurd like that, or maybe he knocked out everybody. It was either he knocked out everybody or maybe one fight wasn't a knockout.
Very close.
And I saw Marvin Hagler say, "Come on," walk straight up to him when they rang the bell and said, "I'm not taking a step back. Come on," and then proceed to beat that man down.
I mean, personally, I think Hagler walks right through Roy Jones.
It's a tough call, but that's why we do this, y'all. That's why we do this.
Roy Jones gets tapped in his chin once by one of those Hagler punches, he's going to sleep.
No, and I agree with you, Southgate. If it's flush, I just think Roy was too fast for Hagler to get a first shot on him.
Hey, yo, gentlemen, first of all, we've been at this for a while now. I just got to say, hey, I'm more than honored to have you guys on this podcast doing this with us. Thank you all for joining us. When we do this again, Southgate, we need you back here.
Yeah,
and the reason we need you back here is because in next week is the last week before the fight. So we need you to join us so you can give us your full expertise.
You got it.
Because it's going down. Much appreciated and much respected. Hey, yo, for Common, Mr. Fisticuffs himself, the coach. For Southgate, the primetime classic man himself. For A-Train, the AKA heel man himself. I am Zip Zap, all bass, no treble, saying thank you for joining us. This is not Move Podcast, and we'll get back at you soon. Thank you, everyone.
You got to get.
Peace.